We want to return to the story involving former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. In August, a jury found her guilty of 7 of 10 counts of election interference, and today she will find out if she'll spend any time in prison on those charges. Joining me this morning is 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor. Thanks so much for coming in.
Sure, good to be here.
So guilty on 7 charges. What are the possible penalties here?
Well, the possible penalties, there's no mandatory minimum, so there's a number of things that they could really, that the judge could go with, anywhere from probation all the way up to, I think if with everything it's in excess of 20 years, maybe up to 22 years. So, but this could be community service, probation, things like that. So it's going to be interesting today. I'd be surprised. I would suspect there will be some time, but that's up to the judge.
And what will come into play with the judge deciding her sentence?
Yeah, well, they do a whole pre-sentencing process, and so there'll be her prior history, her community service, her remorsefulness, all those kind of things. But that's what's going to be really interesting, is that she's not showing much remorse. Right. She's not, and even in her trial, she didn't really say that she didn't do it. She just tried to establish that she was justified. And the prosecutors, I think, did a great job of pointing out that, hey, this was somebody trying to get their name in the papers, to be somewhat famous, and to push this completely false, election theory. And so with that being the case, and her still kind of banging on the table saying, hey, I was justified in doing this, that could come into play and work against her for sure.
But you were also saying she has no prior convictions either, so that comes into play as well.
Yep, that absolutely. Her criminal history, all of that, and so as it should, if this is a first-time offense. But the fact, I read an article or listened to the NPR interview with the prosecutor, who was also a Republican, Dan Rubenstein, and he was saying that, pointing out the danger and the message that's being sent to other clerks around the country about this prosecution, that, hey, this is fundamentally important to our processes, and you should not do this.
Right. So, and this isn't the only legal trouble that she's in as well. Talk about what else she's involved in.
Well, so there's a number of things. So the FBI is doing its investigation, and it had a number of subpoenas issued, and now they're being a little bit quiet about where the status of their investigation, but I believe that's still ongoing, so there could be criminal charges there. She's also being charged with some ethics complaints. And this could be very serious, because it was more in her re-election bid, which she didn't register as a candidate, and she accepted all this money. And then Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, comes up and says, well, I gave her up to $800,000 in funds that she didn't report. And so this could be a huge fine. The last fine on this kind of issue where you didn't report taking campaign funds was Hickenlooper, and it was for some plane ride, and it was $1,000. Right. So he was charged $2,000. Generally, you're charged twice the amount of the donation. So here she could be looking at a $1.6 million fine. So that one I'm really keeping an eye out.
Do you expect an appeal, and do you think she'll be successful if so?
So I think there will be an appeal. Appeals are not as difficult as the trial, because in an appeal, they're only appealing issues of law. Did the judge make some error? So you don't have to go back and have a whole nother trial. It's really just the lawyers filing a brief, and then there's a 30-minute argument in front of the Court of Appeals. So I would expect that. I think the judge was fairly lenient in terms of the defense motions and things like that. So I don't think there's a strong basis for an appeal. I'd be surprised if she didn't appeal. She's already appealed some of these other things. Some were administrative hearings that she appealed to the district court. So yes, I suspect there'll be an appeal. I don't know if she'll be successful.
But it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out today. Again, our Mark Salinger is in Grand Junction. He is there. He's going to be covering the sentencing today, and we'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah, maybe I'll be back.
Yeah, I have a feeling you will. Whitney, thank you.